and we take a look at how the athletes got to this stage. Evren Kayran of Turkey, 26 years old, came through Budin of Croatia and then took out Schaff. Mike Schlosser, the world #1, is 25 years old. He shot a 690 in the ranking round and took out Araz of Turkey before beating Gelantine 145 to 142. It's a great lineup for the gold medal here in Berlin. Let's go down to the range and welcome the athletes out.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the athletes to the field for the compound men's gold medal match.
So this for the gold medal here in Berlin. Schlosser already qualified for the finals by winning one of the earlier stages on the World Cup Tour.
On target #1, representing Turkey.
The average arrow for Mr. Perfect, or Sir Perfect as he's now known, a 9.8. But he'll be wary of Kayran, who has a much better score in the tiebreaker. But the key thing
Look at
here
that history.
is 5-0 for Schlosser against Kayran. But Kayran will have no pressure on him at all.
Tanvir Ahmed.
And the important thing to note here is, again, neither archer has to worry about qualifying for finals. They're both in. Mike on stage win. Evren on points. We have Gabby standing behind Mike, it looks like, in the coach's box. Yeah, we see Gabby back there. For those not familiar, Gabby is a recurve archer, moved from Mexico to the Netherlands.
Strong shot.
She's standing behind Sir Perfect, Mike Schlosser, who will shoot first in this gold medal match. Evren Kayran looking on, and it's a great start from Mr. Perfect.
We know Mike's had some trouble at the end of finals matches, so he's really going to want to get a solid lead going into those last final arrows.
Nine.
Opportunity.
And he matches almost in the exact same spot, those two arrows.
Eight.
You
Wow.
heard him. He knew.
All of the teams.
Big opportunity here for Kayran.
Definitely. Can he capitalize? And yes, he does.
What a start from the Turkish archer, taking a 2-point lead after just one end. I'm surprised, I've got to say, because Mr. Perfect, Sir Perfect there, Mike Schlosser, you don't see him shooting 9s, he shot an 8.
Yeah, finals matches have been a struggle for him over the last couple of years. I know World Cup finals in Mexico City, he had some issues there, and since then he's definitely had some struggles in the finals match that he's had to battle through. So this end is going to be crucial for him. Can he come back, put 3 in the middle?
Yeah, you're right, but that 8, I mean, what a shocker, and then capitalized by Evren Kayran. 2 X's for the Turkish athlete. He takes the lead. Mike Schlosser will shoot first in the second end.
Hadi kardeş.
And you see all that weight on Mike's bow. Mike shoots such a heavy bow.
Yeah.
10.
Solda biraz.
Yeah.
Right on top of each other. That's what he needed here. 3 X's. He's going to be feeling good if he can
Well,
do
you
that.
called it. You called it, and you called it spot on. But Kairan just outside the 10 ring there.
So that's 1 point back.
Strong shot.
Good Turkish contingent in the crowd, of course, teammates and coaches.
Hadi dikkatli ol.
Looks like they're calling it a 10.
Doğru yerde.
I think it's still a 10.
So a 29 plays a 30 in the second end, but crucially, Kairan stealing the first 2 points, or the 2-point lead in the first set, clings on to that lead just by a single point. The pressure builds, though, doesn't it, for the Turkish athlete now, because Schlisser's dialed into the center, and well, unless the wind changes dramatically, he could shoot a perfect score from now.
That's very true. So, again, it's going to come down, I think, to the final arrows if it's close. It's really going to be watching Mike on that final arrow when he shoots it. So, again, Mike's going to want to get a lead here. He's going to want to not only close the gap, but he's going to want a little bit of a cushion going into that final arrow.
Well, he said he's dialed in. That was the last 10 from Mike Schlisser. Just peeking at the line there.
Third end. So Mike Schlisser will shoot first.
Full of concentration, both of these athletes.
Come on, Mike.
Gabby Bardo, his girlfriend, picked up a silver medal at the European Games in Minsk last week.
And she qualified the spot for Netherlands for the Olympics.
Yep.
10.
Not been a bad season for her.
No, she's definitely coming into her own shooting for the Netherlands team. I think it's really doing her well.
Well, they're matching each other in the third end here.
Yeah.
10.
Look at that group Mike has on the X ring. Just a great group.
Sakin.
So there's that point back. So we're all tied. So at this point, Mike's going to want to put the pedal down. He's going to want to gain some points and build a lead.
Yep.
Well, another perfect score for Mike Schlisser. Pressure now on Kairan. Needs a 10 to stay level.
İşte bu.
He does it. Beautiful X.
29 points for Aaron Çakıran. Turkey, perfect score for Mike Schlisser. And
Güzel güzel, sıkıntı
what's
yok.
more
Böyle devam.
important, after 3 ends,
Shaky start from the Dutch athlete, dropping a 9 and an 8 in the first end. But ever since then, it's all been in the center of the target. And, well, Crystal, just dialed in. You said, look at the grouping.
Yeah, I mean, 4 X's right in the middle like that. That's some good shooting.
And even, you take that 8 away, then the grouping is amazing.
Exactly.
And these are the second, well, the 3 10s in that end, a second perfect score for Mike Schlisser. Has a little bit of a, he closes his eyes just before he releases, opens them just ahead. Was he using the force or?
Funny you say that because I used to do the same thing with my compound.
So, all square, start of the fourth.
Again,
Schlisser
just
to shoot first.
look at all the weight off that bow.
Yeah.
I can barely pick up Mike's bow. It's crazy how heavy it is. For those of you back home, that's a lot of weight on that. He's got it on the riser, on the end of each stabilizer.
Oh, hiç.
Yeah. X.
He knew that one was going in the middle.
Doğru yerde.
Look at this. Kairan has stepped up to the plate here. Look at that bow and that weight you're talking about.
Yeah. X.
But that allows him, he holds so steady, you see zero movement when he's at full draw.
3 perfect scores in a row for Mike Schlisser.
And there's
Just dropping a
9.
point again. So having snuck into the lead early doors, Schlusser has stuck to his game plan, stayed consistent, cut the lead down to nothing, and now he has edged 1 point ahead with 3 perfect scores in a row.
To the last end, Mike Schlusser took the lead after 3 30s in a row.
Emre Özdemir, the Turkish coach, has his work cut out for him here now. It's not really about technique or tactics now, it's more about what's going on in between the ears.
Exactly, it's keeping your archer calm, making sure they can walk through their same shot process, just like they were at home on the range, forget all the cameras, and just shoot your arrows.
Well, consistency is the name of the game. Schlusser shooting a 10 to finish things off. A third perfect 30 for him. The response from Evren Kayran was a 9. And that is the lead for Sir Perfect going into the final end. Evren Kayran will shoot first.
So first time in the match that he's got to go first. So let's see how that affects each of these archers.
Oh, means so much to the Turkish athlete as well. A win here, and he's booked his place in Moscow.
He's not giving up easy. He's putting it down there, making Mike do his work.
Yeah, 10.
He was a little scared on that one. You could tell it broke a little quick.
Sakin. Aferin.
That is the door open for Mike Schlusser.
So if Mike can put a 10 here, that'll give him a little bit of cushion for that final arrow.
Yeah, 10.
And he does.
He has not missed the 10 ring since the very first end.
See the wind picking up just a little bit. See his shirt.
7.
Puts it in the 10 ring.
Come on, Mike, strong shot.
So Mike needs that 9 for the win. 8 will be a shoot off.
9 to win.
Oh my word! Oh, we've got the shoot off. We have got the shoot off. Schlusser dropping one into the 8. It's subject to a measure. Oh my goodness me.
And you see the look on Mike's face. He is crushed right now.
We have to wait for the official confirmation by the judge on this one. Looking close by.
It is an 8, and we have got a shoot-off. Schlusser shot a 10-9-8 in the first end. Since then, he's shot all 10s and X's until that very final arrow, needing a 9 to win, drops it into the 8. And Crystal, was it a too sharp a shot? Did he go too quickly?
No, I think this is just something Mike struggled with, that final arrow of the match. Like I said, he knew he needed a lead, and you see he knew it dropped down.
I think
And you just got to feel for him. I mean, you really got to feel for him in this case.
furious, I think, is probably the best word to describe it. A little wry smile on the face of Evren Kayran.
He knew he was given a gift.
Massive present, early birthday for the Turkish archer, but job not done. He's in a shoot-off with Sir Perfect, and can the Dutchman recover from that dropped 8 in the final arrow? Targets being replaced as we speak. Need clear targets. Remind everyone of how the shoot-off works.
So in the shoot-off, each archer is going to shoot 1 arrow. The archer with the highest scoring arrow wins. If both archers score the same score, then the arrows will be measured and closest to center will win. However, this is compound, so if both archers shoot an X, we will have a second shoot-off.
Score first, measure second.
Exactly, and interesting to note here, Mike's going to be back shooting first. So that does take a little pressure off of him and puts the pressure on the Turkish archer.
But the Turkish element of the crowd getting right behind Evren Kayran. Can he finish stage 4 of the Hyundai Archery World Cup with a gold medal around his neck?
First on target number 2.
Come on, Mike.
Here we go.
Strong shot. Take your
This
time for it.
for the gold in the men's individual compound here in Berlin. Another quick one and a high 9. Opportunity here for Evren Kairan. Bang! Straight down the middle. Evren Kairan takes the gold here in Berlin, and he is a World Cup stage winner. Warm hug from Mike Schlüsser. What a match, what a turnaround.
Yeah, I mean, I don't even know what to say. Like I said, I feel for Mike. I know what he's gone through, and it's just heartbreaking to watch, but huge congrats to the Turkish archer. He came through when it mattered, and he was able to deliver that X in the shoot-off.
Immense pressure on Kairan as well, having given the same old story. Opportunity presents itself, but the key is capitalizing on that opportunity, and what pressure on one arrow to take the gold here in Berlin.
Exactly.
Hats off to Evren Kairan. He is the champion of Berlin. Commiserations to Mike Schlüsser, just losing his calm and cool on the last arrow of the regulation end. That was an absolute thriller. Compound Saturday has delivered time and time again here in Berlin. Well, we look back on this match. They dropped 8 in the first set from Mike Schlüsser. Was capitalized by Kairan, who went 2 points up after the first end. But the consistency of Sir Perfect, hitting the middle of the target time and time again. He closed the gap, leveled up, then took the lead with 3 perfect scores in a row. Came into the final end as the red-hot favorite for the gold, but that 8 leveled things up for Evren Kairan. Disappointment from Schlüsser forced the tiebreaker, and the pressure on Kairan was immense, but Schlüsser only shot a 9. Kairan put it down the middle to take gold in Berlin. So that's it for the men's individual compound. Let's take a look at how things finished up here in Berlin. Evren Kairan from Turkey taking gold from Mike Schlüsser of the Netherlands in a shoot-off for the gold medal here in Germany. Chris Schaff beating Braden Gelantine in the bronze medal playoff. Well, that's the 4 stages done in the Hyundai Archery World Cup Tour. Berlin, the final stage, and here is how things finished up. Schlüsser, Gelantine, Kairan and Lutz qualify for Moscow as stage winners. Munoz and Bosanski going through as qualifiers, as ranking qualifiers, along with Sergio Pagny. Chris Schaff, the big name, missing out. Individual matches all done. Coming up now, the all-exciting mixed team finals. Well, we've got another medal ceremony to come before we go over to the mixed team event. As you can see, the conditions here changeable, but it's been fairly mild here. The wind suddenly starting to play its part. But now it's time to celebrate the medalist in the men's individual compound. Turkish flag flying the very highest here on Compound Saturday.
Medals will be presented by World Archery Secretary General.
Die Medaillen werden übergeben vom Generalsekretär der World Archery.
Tom Dillon. Gifts will be presented by World Archery Europe Vice President.
Die Präsente werden übergeben vom Vizepräsidenten der World Archery Europe.
Hakan Çakiloğlu. Bronze medal representing the United States of America.
die Bronzemedaille aus den Vereinigten Staaten von Amerika.
Chris Schaff.
A bittersweet moment for the American Chris Schaff. Looks like he's about to burst into tears. He's had such a great season, but no wins, and he won't be able to defend the World Cup title that he won in Samsun last year, despite finishing the rankings third, because two of his teammates qualified as stage winners, Gelantine and Lutz. But Chris Schaff, well, mixed emotions for him. He's the bronze medalist here in Berlin. Well, well, well, Mike Schlüsser showed an opening to his opponent in the gold medal match in the first end, but then came back so strongly before dropping the final arrow of the fifth end into an 8, forcing a shoot-off. Tom Dieland, General Secretary of World Archery, presenting the medals, and it's the World Archery Vice President, Hakan Kakirolu, who's giving out the Berlin Bears. You've got Berlin Bear.
I do not. This was actually my first time in Berlin.
Here's the man of the moment, though. He was superb under pressure, given an opportunity to win the shoot-off, facing a 9. He shot a 10. Evren Kayran is the champion of the Berlin Hyundai Archery World Cup.
Ladies and gentlemen, please stand for the national anthem of Turkey.
Now it's time for the Turkish anthem.
Ladies and gentlemen, please give a warm round of applause to our athletes.
Meine Damen und Herren, geben Sie allen Athleten nochmal einen herzlichen Applaus.
Well, there we have it. Evren Kayran takes the gold medal here in Berlin and goes through to the Moscow World Cup final as a stage winner this season. Mike Schlüsser with the silver, Chris Schaff, the American, with the bronze medal.